Have you ever been in a situation where things seem to be going well with someone and then, out of nowhere, they pull away? Maybe she stops texting back as quickly, or you notice that something's just not the same. It's confusing, it's painful, and it leaves you wondering what went wrong. You find yourself replaying conversations in your head, trying to figure out what you missed. Did you say something? Do something? You're stuck in this loop of uncertainty, trying to piece together the puzzle. I get it. It feels like the rug has been pulled out from under you. 1 minute, everything is fine, and the next, you're left with a feeling of being ignored or worse, forgotten. It's like you're in a fog, unable to see the way forward. It's frustrating, but it's also incredibly common. You know, relationships can be a bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes things go great, and sometimes they don't. People pull away, or things get complicated. It's a natural part of how relationships evolve. Sometimes it's a sign that she needs space, or maybe she's going through something personal. But no matter the reason, you can't help but feel lost, wondering if you should chase after her, send another message, or just wait and see what happens. But here's the thing. What if there was a better way to handle this? What if, instead of feeling like you're spiraling, there was a way to regain control of your emotions and your actions? What if I told you that the solution doesn't involve chasing, begging, or constantly wondering if you're good enough? What if the key to handling situations like this is something ancient yet powerful? I'm talking about Stoicism. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Stoicism. That's some old philosophy stuff, right? But here's the deal. Stoicism isn't just for philosophers. It's a practical approach to life that's designed to help you stay composed, grounded, and clear-headed, no matter what's going on around you. It's not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. And when it comes to relationships, that's exactly what you need to do. Regain control over your own thoughts and actions so you don't lose your peace when things get uncertain. So, let's take a step back for a moment and think about this. Why is it so easy to feel out of control when someone pulls away? It's because we're wired to seek answers, to seek validation, and to be in control of situations that are often beyond our control. But here's the thing. What you can control in any given situation is your response. Not her actions, not her feelings, but your own. And this is where Stoicism steps in. In Stoic philosophy, there's a powerful idea that can change everything about how you approach this situation. It's called control versus what you cannot control. This principle teaches you to focus on what's within your power and let go of the rest. Think about it this way. You can't control her feelings or her actions. You can't make her respond to your texts or force her to open up or even change her mind if she's pulling away. But what you can control is how you react, how you process the situation, how you protect your own peace of mind in the midst of uncertainty. This might feel overwhelming, but it's okay. Because once you grasp this concept, it's going to change how you handle every situation like this moving forward. Instead of spiraling into confusion and self-doubt, you'll find yourself standing firm, knowing exactly what you need to do, and more importantly, what you don't need to do. So, let's break this down. When she pulls away, your first step is to stop focusing on what you can't control, her actions. You need to refocus on yourself. Think about what you can do. You can manage your emotions. You can stay calm and composed. You can reflect on your actions and make sure you're in a good place emotionally before you make any moves. This is the Stoic approach, mastering your response, not the situation. But how do you do this? How do you start letting go of the need to control everything? That's what we're going to explore today. Number 1, control versus what you cannot control. Let's take a moment to talk about something that can completely shift how you approach situations like this. It's a simple idea, but incredibly powerful, the Stoic principle of control versus what you cannot control. It's exactly what it sounds like, focusing on what's within your control and letting go of the things that aren't. Think about it this way. There are plenty of things in life we just can't control. You can't control how she feels, what she thinks, or what decisions she makes. If she pulls away, there's nothing you can do to force her to come back or change her mind. That's beyond your control. But here's the thing, you can control how you respond. You can control your actions, your emotions, and your mindset. You are in charge of how you handle this situation, and that's where your real power lies. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're out in the wind, trying to shoot an arrow at a target. You've got your bow ready, you aim carefully, and release. But no matter how much you prepare, there's one thing you can't control: the wind. The wind can shift and it might mess with your shot. You can't stop the wind, no matter how hard you try. But the most important part? You can still aim. You can still release the arrow. You control what you can, and you let go of what you can't. In the same way, you can't control her decision to pull away, but you can control how you respond. You don't need to obsess over it or panic or chase after her. Instead, you can step back, take a deep breath, and focus on yourself. You can manage your emotions and maintain your sense of self-respect. That's the key. Think about this for a moment. When you start to feel anxious about someone pulling away, it's natural to want to fix things, whether by sending another text or constantly checking your phone. But the truth is, these actions are out of your control. The only thing you can control is how you deal with the situation. You can choose to keep your peace and avoid reacting out of fear or frustration. This is where Stoicism steps in. It's not about suppressing your feelings or pretending you're fine when you're not. It's about recognizing that the only thing you can truly control is yourself. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll find yourself acting from a place of calm instead of reacting from a place of panic. So instead of focusing on what you can't control, her actions, focus on what you can. You can manage your own emotions. You can take a step back and reflect. You can practice patience, and you can make sure you're staying true to yourself, no matter what she does. This doesn't mean that you'll never feel hurt or frustrated. That's completely natural. But the Stoic mindset teaches us that our response to those feelings is where the real power lies. Instead of reacting with anger or fear, you can choose to respond thoughtfully. You can choose not to over-respond to the situation, but to approach it with the clarity and calm that comes from within. When you embrace this mindset, you're no longer controlled by her actions. You take control of your own peace, your own emotions, and ultimately, your own life. That's the Stoic approach. So next time she pulls away, remember this. You can't control her, but you can control how you handle the situation. You can stay composed, stay calm, and choose not to let the situation throw you off balance. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about what comes next. Once you understand that you can't control her actions, it's time to let go of the need to control the outcome altogether. This is where the power of detachment and letting go comes in. But that's something we'll explore the next section. Number 2, detachment and letting go. When someone pulls away, it can feel like you're losing something important. You want to hold on, to fix things, to make everything go back to how it was. But here's where Stoicism gives us something incredibly valuable: detachment. It's not about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about understanding that you can't always control what happens around you. You can't make someone stay or love you in the way you want them to. What you can control, however, is your response. The Stoic concept of detachment can be summed up like this: accept things as they are, not as you wish them to be. It's about releasing the need to change someone else or force an outcome that's out of your control. This doesn't mean you stop caring or that you don't try to make things work. It simply means you stop clinging to an idea of how things should be and start accepting them as they are. You recognize that you can't bend reality to your will, but you can adjust your own mindset to stay balanced and at peace. When you hold on too tightly, whether it's to someone, an idea, or a specific outcome, you end up pushing things away. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself chasing after someone who's pulling away? It only makes things more tense, right? It's like trying to hold onto a balloon with a tight grip. It slips away even faster. The more you try to control, the more you lose control. This is where letting go comes in. Letting go isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about giving yourself the freedom to move forward. It's about releasing that tight grip and trusting that whatever is meant to happen will happen. By letting go, you stop holding on to something that's slipping away and start focusing on what's in your power, your own growth, your own emotional health, and your own path forward. Here's a powerful Stoic quote by Marcus Aurelius. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a second. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. When you shift your focus from trying to control her to focusing on your own peace of mind, you gain strength. It's a strength that comes from within, not from the outside world or anyone else. When you let go of your attachment to a specific outcome, you allow yourself the space to grow, heal, and move forward. It might sound easier said than done. Letting go can feel like giving up on something or someone you care about. But the truth is, letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you're choosing to take care of yourself first. You're choosing to prioritize your emotional well-being instead of getting stuck in a situation where you have no control. One way to start practicing detachment is to shift your focus. Instead of obsessing over her behavior or wondering what went wrong, shift your attention to things that bring you joy, peace, and growth. Start focusing on your goals, your passions, and your personal development. Think about what you want to achieve for yourself, regardless of what's happening in your relationships. When you focus on your personal growth, you're able to find fulfillment that doesn't depend on someone else's actions or feelings. Ask yourself, what can I do today to improve myself? What can I learn from this experience that will help me grow as a person? These questions keep you grounded in the present, and they help you regain control of your own life. When you focus on your goals and personal development, you shift the energy away from what's out of your hands and direct it to what you can control. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about her. It just means you're not letting her absence define your emotional state. You're not allowing her pulling away to control how you feel. You're reclaiming your emotional power and choosing to invest in yourself. You might still feel hurt, confused, or even angry. Those emotions are natural, and it's okay to feel them. But the key is not letting those emotions dictate your next steps. Don't let them control your actions. Don't let them cause you to chase after someone or do something out of desperation. Instead, let those emotions pass through you, acknowledge them, and then let them go, just like you're letting go of the need to control everything around you. Here's something else to consider. Detachment also frees you from the pressure of trying to fix everything. You don't have to constantly worry about what she's thinking or doing. You can trust that whatever happens is what's meant to happen. The more you practice detachment, the more you allow space for yourself to heal and grow without clinging to a specific outcome. This is a big shift, I know, but it's a shift that will help you gain true emotional resilience. It's a shift that will allow you to weather any storm without getting stuck in the storm itself. So, how do you start letting go? One way is to practice mindfulness. When you start feeling the urge to check your phone or send that message, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm trying to control the situation or because it's the best thing for me right now? If it's the latter, then go ahead. But if it's coming from a place of fear or anxiety, it's time to pause. Another powerful way to practice detachment is by focusing on gratitude. Remind yourself of the things you're thankful for in your life, whether it's your health, your passions, your friends, or your goals. These are things you have full control over. Focusing on gratitude helps you let go of the things you can't control and keeps you grounded in what truly matters. Number 3, the power of silence and patience. When someone pulls away, it's natural to feel that urge to do something, to reach out, to explain yourself, to fix things. But here's the thing, silence is powerful. It might seem counterintuitive, especially when you're feeling confused or hurt, but sometimes saying nothing can speak volumes. It shows composure, it shows emotional strength, and above all, it gives space for clarity. Think about it. When you react impulsively, when you start sending messages in a hurry or try to chase her down, it often makes things worse. It pushes her further away, and it pushes you into a spiral of uncertainty. But silence creates space. It allows you both to breathe. It's like taking a step back in a conversation before you say something you might regret. You pause, you think, and then you decide how you want to move forward. This is where Stoicism comes in. A Stoic responds, never reacts. When something happens that's beyond your control, like her pulling away, you have two choices. You can react with fear or frustration, letting your emotions dictate your actions. Or you can respond with calm, with clarity, and with patience. Responding, not reacting. That's the Stoic way. When you give in to the urge to react, you're letting your emotions take the driver's seat. But when you choose silence, you're letting yourself stay in control. You're saying, I won't let this situation control me. You're giving yourself space to process your feelings before you make any decisions. It might feel like an eternity, right? Waiting, thinking, trying to resist the urge to just reach out. But silence is powerful. It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're being cold. It means that you're strong enough to sit with your emotions and allow them to pass instead of acting on them in the moment. Imagine this. You're in a heated conversation with someone and you feel yourself getting upset. Instead of snapping or saying something you might regret, you pause for a second, you take a breath. In that moment, you've created space for a better response. You've created room for thought, for clarity, and for emotional strength. Silence gives you that moment of space. It lets you choose how you want to react, and most of the time, that's exactly what's needed. But it's not always easy, is it? When someone pulls away, the instinct is to chase after them. You wonder, what did I do wrong? Should I reach out? But the truth is, the more you chase, the more you lose your power. The more you over-communicate, the more you push them away. Silence, on the other hand, is the opposite. It shows that you're not desperate. It shows that you're in control of yourself, that you respect her space, and that you value your own emotional well-being. It communicates strength, not weakness. This is where patience comes in. Patience isn't about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about resisting that urge to rush in and fix things. It's about trusting the process, trusting that things will unfold in their own time without you forcing anything to happen. Patience is active. It's a decision to stay calm, to take your time, and to reflect instead of react. So how do you practice this patience? How do you resist the urge to act out of anxiety or fear? Well, one of the best things you can do is take a step back and breathe. It sounds simple, but when you're caught up in a moment of anxiety, just taking a deep breath can make all the difference. When you feel that urge to text or call, pause for a second. Just breathe. Give yourself the time you need to decide if that's really the best thing to do, or if it's just an impulse driven by your emotions. Another thing you can do is shift your focus. When you feel the need to check your phone or try to contact her, focus on something else. Find a hobby, go for a walk, or even just take some time to reflect on your own goals. This shift in focus takes your mind off the situation and helps you regain a sense of peace. The more you focus on your own growth and well-being, the less you'll feel like you need someone else to validate you. Patience also comes with trusting that whatever happens is what's meant to happen. It's not always easy, especially when your emotions are running high, but trusting that the universe has its own way of unfolding things gives you the power to stay calm. Things won't always go the way you expect, but they'll go the way they're supposed to. And in the meantime, you're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. When you're patient and you embrace silence, you're not just giving her space, you're giving yourself space. You're allowing yourself the opportunity to reflect and grow, to get clarity on what's really important to you, and to keep your emotional well-being intact. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strength. It's a demonstration of your emotional resilience, your ability to stay calm in a storm, and your capacity to manage your emotions without letting them control you. As you practice this, you'll begin to notice that things don't feel as urgent anymore. You'll start to trust yourself more. You'll start to recognize that you don't need someone else's validation to feel complete. You're already whole, and your strength lies in your ability to stay calm and composed, no matter what's happening around you. And here's the thing. When you're able to stay silent and patient, you become even more attractive. Not in a desperate way, but in a way that shows you're confident, self-assured, and in control of your emotions. People are drawn to that kind of emotional strength. When you don't chase, you show that you're strong enough to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, with patience and silence on your side, the next step is to start focusing on yourself. We're going to explore self-reflection and self-improvement in the next section, because as you gain control over your emotions and your reactions, it's time to turn inward and start focusing on your own growth and well-being. Number 4. Self-reflection and self-improvement. When someone pulls away, it can leave you feeling uncertain, lost, or even a bit defeated. But what if, instead of focusing on what's happening outside of you, you turned inward? What if this moment of challenge became an opportunity to reflect, grow, and improve yourself? This is the perfect time for self-reflection and self-improvement. Take a step back and think about the things that truly matter to you. Have you been so focused on someone else's actions that you've neglected your own personal growth? Have you spent so much time trying to understand her behavior that you've forgotten about the things that bring you joy, the things that fuel your own passion? This is your moment to shift the focus back to yourself. Self-reflection isn't just about sitting around and overthinking things. It's about actively engaging with yourself and your life. It's about asking the right questions like, what do I really want from life? What makes me feel fulfilled? How can I become the best version of myself? By taking time for introspection, you can uncover what truly matters to you and what areas of your life need more attention. If you're not sure where to start, journaling is a fantastic tool. Writing down your thoughts, your feelings, and your experiences can be incredibly therapeutic. It gives you the chance to process what's going on inside and to gain perspective on things. Sometimes, seeing your thoughts on paper helps you understand them better. It also allows you to track your growth over time. Each entry in your journal is a step toward becoming the person you want to be. But journaling is just one way to engage in self-reflection. Another powerful tool is pursuing your passions. What is it that lights you up? What have you put on hold because you've been too busy or distracted? Now is the time to dive back into those things that bring you joy, excitement, and fulfillment. Whether it's a hobby, a creative project, or even a new skill you've wanted to learn, engaging with your passions helps you rediscover who you are outside of a relationship. It helps you reconnect with your true self, the person you've always been, and the person you're continuing to become. Setting new goals is another powerful way to focus on your personal growth. When you set goals, whether they're small or big, you give yourself a roadmap. You give yourself something to work toward, something that's independent of anyone else's actions. Achieving these goals, no matter how small they may seem, is a huge confidence boost. It reminds you that you are capable, you are driven, and you are in control of your own future. There's a Stoic quote that says, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." It's not about holding grudges, about trying to get back at someone, or even about trying to make them regret pulling away. The best thing you can do is not to become bitter, not to become frustrated or desperate. The best thing you can do is improve yourself. Focus on your own growth and let that speak louder than anything else. By focusing on your personal growth, you not only build your own confidence, but you also naturally become more attractive. People are drawn to others who are self-assured, who have a clear sense of purpose, and who are actively working towards something bigger than themselves. When you focus on improving yourself, you send a message to the world that you don't need anyone else to complete you. You're already whole. This journey of self-improvement is not about making others see your worth. It's about making sure you see your own worth. When you value yourself and your growth, you build an inner strength that no one can take away. And the more you work on yourself, the more you naturally attract people who resonate with the energy you're putting out. You become the kind of person who doesn't need validation from others because you've already validated yourself. As you continue on this journey of introspection and growth, take a moment to acknowledge your progress. Every time you focus on improving yourself, you're creating the kind of life that's built on your own terms. You're moving toward becoming the best version of yourself, one that doesn't rely on anyone else to feel whole or happy. Now, as you take this time to focus on your own growth, you might start to wonder why people pull away in the first place. What's going on in their minds when they take that step back? This leads us to the next important topic, the psychology of pulling away. Understanding the reasons behind someone's behavior can help you navigate the situation with even more clarity and wisdom. Number 5, the psychology of pulling away. When someone pulls away, it can leave you feeling confused, wondering what went wrong. You might think, did I do something wrong? Or what's happening here? But here's something important to remember. It's often not about you, it's about them. Understanding why people pull away can help you understand their behavior better and in turn help you respond in a calm and grounded way. People pull away for all sorts of reasons. One of the most common reasons is fear of intimacy. It might sound odd, but some people are afraid of getting too close to others. The more they connect with someone, the more vulnerable they feel, and the more they fear being hurt. When this happens, they often pull back to protect themselves from those emotions. It's not because they don't care about you, but because they're struggling with the idea of being emotionally open. Another reason someone might pull away is because of personal struggles. Maybe they're dealing with things in their own life that are causing stress, work pressure, family problems, personal doubts. When people are overwhelmed or uncertain about their own lives, they often retreat inwardly, needing space to figure things out. It's important to understand that this isn't a rejection of you, but more of a response to their own emotional state. Sometimes, it's as simple as needing space. Some people need time alone to recharge, reflect, or just deal with their own thoughts. This isn't always about the relationship. It can just be about their personal need for solitude. Everyone needs space from time to time, and when they pull away, it might just be that they need a break to regain their balance. The key thing here is realizing that their pulling away is often not a reflection of you. It's about them and what they're going through. It's about their emotional needs, their personal struggles, or simply their need for space. Once you understand this, it becomes easier to stop blaming yourself or taking it personally. This is where Stoicism can really help you out. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson. Her actions are beyond your control, but your interpretation of them is within your power. You can't control her feelings or her decision to pull away, but you can control how you interpret those actions. You can choose how to respond, and that's where your real strength lies. When you stop focusing on controlling her or the situation, you can start focusing on how you manage your own feelings and reactions. Her pulling away doesn't need to send you into a spiral of confusion or frustration. Instead, you can take a step back, breathe, and decide how to respond. You can choose to stay grounded and calm. You can choose to give her the space she needs without panicking. You have the power to control your own emotions, and that's what Stoicism teaches us to focus on. When she pulls away, the best thing you can do is give her the space she needs. Don't try to force a conversation, don't chase after her or demand answers. Give her the room to process her own thoughts and feelings. This doesn't mean you're giving up on the relationship. It just means you're respecting her boundaries, and in doing so, you're showing emotional maturity. At the same time, it's important to stay calm and grounded. Don't allow her actions to throw you off balance. You can't control what she does, but you can control how you handle it. Keep your peace, focus on your own emotional well-being, and trust that things will unfold in their own time. By staying calm, you not only protect your own emotional state, but you also show that you're confident enough to let her have her space without feeling desperate. If you ever feel the urge to reach out to her or demand an explanation, remind yourself that this moment isn't about you trying to control the situation. It's about you maintaining your emotional stability and allowing her the time and space she needs to process. You don't need to react right away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is wait. Wait for the situation to settle, wait for clarity, and wait for the right moment to have a productive conversation. This is where emotional resilience comes in. When you learn how to stay calm, how to manage your emotions, and how to handle uncertainty without letting it dictate your actions, you develop emotional strength. It's about trusting yourself to handle difficult moments without becoming overwhelmed or losing your sense of balance. And here's something important. As you focus on keeping your emotional peace, you naturally begin to show more emotional strength. People are drawn to emotional stability. When you're able to stay grounded, even in challenging moments, it communicates that you have control over yourself and your emotions. That's attractive. It shows maturity. It shows that you're strong enough to deal with difficulties without falling apart or chasing after someone. So the next time someone pulls away, remember this. It's not about you. It's about what's going on with them. Give them space. Stay grounded and keep your emotional balance intact. You can't control their actions, but you can control how you respond to them. That's your power. As we wrap this up, the next step is all about emotional resilience and developing a long-term perspective on relationships. How do we build emotional strength over time? How do we maintain our peace and confidence in the face of challenges? That's something we'll explore next as we look at how to cultivate emotional resilience and keep a long-term perspective no matter what comes your way. Number 6, emotional resilience and long-term perspective. When someone pulls away, it can feel like a punch to the gut. It can make you question everything. What did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Those feelings are normal. But here's the thing. The ability to navigate these emotions with strength and calm, that's what emotional resilience is all about. And that's something you can absolutely develop. Emotional resilience is the ability to face life's challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments without being knocked off course. It's about being able to withstand tough situations without letting them define you. When you build emotional resilience, you don't let circumstances dictate how you feel or react. Instead, you take control of your emotional state and you move forward with purpose, no matter what comes your way. The key to emotional resilience in relationships is understanding that setbacks are not failures, they're opportunities for growth. Life is full of ups and downs, especially in relationships. People pull away, things get complicated. But none of that means you've failed. It simply means there's a lesson to be learned, an opportunity to grow, and a chance to strengthen your emotional muscles. A powerful Stoic quote that captures this perfectly is, "The obstacle is the way." What does that mean? It means that the challenges and difficulties we face are not things to be avoided. They're the very things that allow us to grow stronger. When we face obstacles head-on, when we work through them instead of running from them, we become better, wiser, and more resilient. In the context of relationships, this means that when someone pulls away, it's not the end of the world. It's not a failure. It's simply an opportunity for you to practice emotional resilience. It's an opportunity for you to reflect, learn, and grow. Instead of allowing the situation to shake your confidence or make you feel powerless, use it as a chance to develop your strength. Because the truth is, no situation has the power to define you unless you allow it. When you shift your focus away from immediate outcomes and short-term gratification and instead focus on your long-term self-worth, everything changes. It's easy to get caught up in the need for immediate answers or validation. We live in a world where we're conditioned to expect quick results. We want things now, answers, closure, reassurance. But that kind of mindset can actually hinder your growth. Instead, try shifting your perspective to the long term. The more you focus on building your emotional strength over time, the more you will find peace in knowing that your worth isn't determined by someone else's actions. Your self-worth comes from within, from the person you're becoming, and from the strength you develop in the face of adversity. Let's say that she pulls away, and your first instinct is to call or text her, hoping for some sign that everything is okay. That's an impulse, something driven by the need for reassurance in the moment. But when you practice emotional resilience, you shift away from that immediate need for answers. You trust that the situation will unfold, that you are okay, and that your worth is not dependent on her response. By focusing on your long-term self-worth, you stop measuring your value by how others treat you in the moment. You start to see your growth as a person, your ability to stay calm, your ability to reflect as the real markers of your worth. The more you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the more you'll realize that your peace comes from within, not from external validation. This shift in mindset helps you step into a stronger, more empowered version of yourself. Instead of feeling like you're at the mercy of her actions or waiting for someone else to define your happiness, you take ownership of your own life and your emotional state. This is true freedom. It's also important to remember that setbacks don't define you. They're just part of the journey. Every time you encounter a challenge, you have the choice to either let it defeat you or use it as an opportunity to grow. It's not always easy, and it's definitely not always fun. But every time you rise above an emotional challenge, you strengthen your emotional resilience. Think about it. The next time someone pulls away or a situation feels uncertain, you can choose to see it as an opportunity. Instead of letting the doubt or confusion pull you down, you can rise above it. You can keep your head clear and your heart steady. Because in the long run, it's your ability to respond thoughtfully, calmly, and with emotional strength that will determine your success, not your ability to react in the moment. Now let's think about the big picture. We tend to focus on the small details in relationships, the texts we send, the things we say, the immediate outcomes. But the reality is, your life, your emotional growth, and your happiness don't hinge on a single moment. They depend on the long-term vision you have for yourself. So every time you face a setback or a challenge, take a deep breath and remind yourself, you are in control of your destiny. You decide how you respond. You decide what defines you, and you decide who you're becoming in the process. So take a moment to reflect. This is your journey. Embrace it. Each step you take, each decision you make to stay calm, to grow, and to rise above challenges is another building block toward becoming a stronger, more resilient person. And that strength will not only help you handle anything that comes your way, but it will also naturally attract the right people into your life, people who respect and value your inner strength. As you continue on this path of self-discovery and emotional growth, always remember this: you are always in control of your destiny. It might take time to see the results, but the most important thing is that you're on the right path. And the more you focus on becoming your best self, the more you'll see that everything else will fall into place. As we come to the end of this video, let's take a moment to recap the key takeaways that will help you navigate any situation where someone pulls away. We've talked about how important it is to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Understanding that the only thing you can truly control is yourself helps to put everything else in perspective. Her actions, you can't control them, but your response, that's entirely within your power. We also explored the power of silence and patience. When someone pulls away, the natural instinct is often to chase, to fix things, or to flood them with messages. But silence can be the most powerful response. Silence doesn't mean indifference, it means strength, composure, and the ability to reflect before reacting. When you give both yourself and the other person space, you allow for clarity and emotional growth. And remember, patience is active. It's a choice to trust the process and not to rush into decisions driven by fear or desperation. Then we moved on to detachment and letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving yourself the freedom to focus on what you can control, your own growth, your own happiness, and your own emotional well-being. It's about accepting things as they are, not as you wish them to be, and realizing that your worth isn't tied to someone else's actions. When you let go of what you can't control, you make space for your own peace. We also took a deep dive into self-reflection and self-improvement. When someone pulls away, it's an opportunity to shift your focus inward. Take this time to reflect on your goals, pursue your passions, and improve yourself. Emotional growth comes from embracing challenges, and this is the perfect time to level up. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not only do you grow in strength and confidence, but you also become someone who naturally attracts the right people into their life. The psychology of pulling away was another key point. Understanding that it's often not about you, but about the other person's internal struggles or need for space, helps you respond with compassion and patience. It's important to give them room to process while you stay grounded and calm. You don't have to chase or overthink. Instead, focus on your emotional resilience and let that be your guide. Finally, we discussed the importance of emotional resilience and keeping a long-term perspective. Setbacks are not failures, they're opportunities for growth. With each challenge you face, you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Don't get caught up in seeking immediate answers or validation. Instead, trust the process, focus on your long-term growth, and remember that you are in control of your own destiny. Now, I want you to leave here with one simple but powerful thought. You don't need anyone's validation to feel whole. Your worth is not dependent on someone else's actions or approval. You are enough, just as you are. And as you continue to grow, you'll realize that you have everything you need to create the life you want. You are your own source of strength and confidence. You've got this. If you've faced a situation like the one we talked about today, I'd love to hear how you handled it. Comment below and share your story. How did you stay calm and centered? What did you learn about yourself through that experience? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights into Stoicism. By subscribing, you'll stay connected and continue learning how to live a life of emotional strength and peace. Remember, this is your journey. Embrace it. You're in control of your path, and every step you take towards self-improvement and emotional resilience brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. You've got this. Now go and take charge of your life.